Hello. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share the Evergreen Park School District reopening plan for the 21-22 school year. I'm often reminded that Evergreen Park successfully had children in person learning last school year. And that is due to the dedication of the community, the dedication to the staff, the dedication to the Board of Education, and the administrative team. This reopening plan would not have been successful without the continued support of all stakeholders. So thank you for all of those who have been involved, and thank you for all of those who continue to send me your feedback. The goals of this presentation is to just really provide you an overview of what school will look like, the guidance that we continue to receive, and the reopening plan for the 21-22 school year. Illinois State Board of Education, the Center for Disease Control, IDPH, and the Governor's Office continues to provide school districts in Illinois the most recent updated information that we need to successfully open our schools and keep kids in person. We will continue to develop our plan and implement it with a flexible and responsiveness environment to ensure the changing conditions of our pandemic that we're currently in. Again, thank you to the committee members of teachers who sat around a table with me, and especially the administrative team, the co-union presidents who have continued to Zoom with me and give me advice as we walk into this next school year, community members who continue to provide feedback, and the Board of Education who continue to support our progress. Recommendations for mitigation really come from two aspects: keeping staff and students safe at all times to create an optimal learning environment for students, and ensuring that all staff and students stay in school, which includes avoiding a mandated quarantine. We also want to continue to provide high quality instruction while implementing these mitigation strategies with a specific focus on social and emotional learning. And yes, I will get to this point, as most of you have already heard, that students will continue to be masked, but they will have the opportunity for social engagement. And that will be occurring in a variety of different ways in each of our classrooms and during different times of the school day. So this all began in the 21-22 school year, where Illinois State Board of Education mandated a return to resume full in-person learning for all students for all attendance days, which is a huge celebration. We get to welcome all of our students back to our schools. Remote instruction will only be available when a student is under a mandated quarantine and is not eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine. So again, we will have all kids returning to us in person for this upcoming school year. They also released some additional information on July 26, which specified what a close contact means. So they changed their guidance from 6 feet apart is deemed as a close contact to 3 feet apart if students are properly wearing masks. And that's, again, regardless of vaccination status. So in terms of social distancing, we are recommending that students remain 3 feet apart. And if they maintain their distance for 3 feet apart for up to 15 minutes a day, they will be able to stay in school. And that is extremely important to us, that we continue to educate our students at all times. CDC is also recommending universal masking. That came out on July 27th, and that is for all K-12 school settings, regardless of vaccination status. And in the next portion, I want to talk about specifically what does a student's school day look like, because that's clearly the most important to all of us. So I'm going to walk you through a student's school day so you have a big picture overview of that. So starting off healthy, we are just asking that kids come to school symptom-free and fever-free. Daily symptom screenings will no longer be required, and that's as mandated by IDPH. So we will no longer need to collect green sheets, and we will no longer need to take daily symptom screenings. That's including temperature checks. But again, it is essential to us that kids come to school healthy, and that's for the safety of all staff and all students. Specific COVID-like symptoms will also be posted in our reopening plan, and that will be posted on our website. Arrival and dismissal. So arrival and dismissal for next school year will remain the same, and you will continue to get updated guidance from your building principal. Arrival will remain at 8:20, and that's mainly because we don't want students congregating in one single setting and ensuring that they maintain their distance at that time as well. Social distancing. Again, I spoke to this a little bit, but students will be asked to maintain 3 feet for a majority of their day. Teachers can resume small group instruction. Desk shields will be highly encouraged with meeting with students in small groups, and small group instruction can also take place on a carpeted area. Masks. So an important note is as of 2:30 on this was this past week, Governor Pritzker mandated masks indoors for all K-12 settings. With that being said, outdoor masks are not currently required by CDC guidelines, regardless of vaccination status. So we'll continue to encourage PE outside, and we'll continue to encourage recess outside. And that is mainly so kids have that additional time to socialize without their mask in an outdoor setting, regardless of their vaccination status, which is, again, a huge celebration. And I'm sure our students are absolutely looking forward to that. We will have one scheduled mask break throughout the course of the day, and additional mask breaks will occur during lunch, outdoor recess, and then outdoor PE, weather permitting. Classroom environment. So sharing of materials is permissible when instruction is impacted, and we'll just continue to hand sanitize before and after use, and we'll continue to do routine disinfecting of shared items is also highly encouraged. We'll resume our classroom libraries, right? This is absolutely what we want to do. We want to put books in kids' hands and make sure they have proper reading material so that they can continue to learn. And carpet spaces can continue to resume as well. Teachers can continue to come up with very creative solutions to, again, create optimal environments for our students during learning. Lunch and recess. So additional lunch periods will remain, and that's to accommodate social distancing. Recess will resume normal procedures, and kids will be able to go outside, weather permitting, during recess, and indoor recess will follow indoor requirements. Lockers. This was another huge celebration. Central Middle School students will resume the use of lockers. Please look for specific guidance on that from Mr. Swilley, the building principal. And only one student will be assigned to a locker to avoid spacing. Bathroom breaks will resume a normal classroom procedure. Cleaning procedures will remain the same, and disinfecting will happen during the school day. And again, we'll continue to encourage as much of a normal schedule throughout the course of our school day as possible. Quarantine guidance. I spoke to this a little bit before, but I'm going to continue to emphasize what this means. So in the K-12 indoor classroom setting, students do not have to quarantine if they maintain 3 feet, unless if they're COVID positive, then they need to quarantine. So if they're maintaining their distance, they get to stay in school. And that is for both students who are engaged in consistent and correct use of a mask at all times. Learning support during quarantine. So again, just a refresher, everyone's coming back to school. It's so exciting. We will only offer learning support during a quarantine period in the event a student has to quarantine if they're COVID positive. And this is a support that will be directly tied to a classroom teacher, will provide assignments. However, a substitute teacher will provide that learning for that student during that shortened quarantine period while they're out. Visitors. Visitors will be allowed in buildings. Masking will be required regardless of vaccination status, and we'll resume our normal Meet the Teacher Night in person. And we can't wait to welcome you all back to Meet the Teacher Night. This is just some updating rolling data that gives you some information on where our current positivity rate is. And this is essential just so we continue to keep up to date on what that guidance looks like. And if we need to revisit it at any time, we can do so. So I want to say thank you and continue to encourage everyone to share information with me directly and or to share information with your building principal, your teachers. I welcome you to the 21-22 school year. We cannot be more excited to open our buildings on the very first day of school and encourage you to come in, meet your teacher, and get to know each and every one of us a little bit better. Our theme for this upcoming school year, you'll get to know a little bit more, but is be present, be proud, be evergreen. Thank you every day for everything you do to keep our kids in school and keep our kids safe. Take care.